Which one of you is Daisy?
You, a while back, were in a movie called Super Mario Brothers. And it's gone on to become this kind of like cult classic. And I'm just curious, our fans would be very mad at me if I didn't ask if you had any fun stories from shooting that movie.
I have some very unfun stories from shooting that.
Those are just as fun sometimes.
I enjoyed it. I mean, it was, obviously an amazing treat to be with Dennis Hopper and Bob Hoskins out in the middle of, North Carolina in a place called Wilmington. And, we all decamped there because that was the only place big enough, crazy enough, and probably free enough to be able to crash these cars into. It was shot actually in an old cement factory, I seem to remember. But we had a beautiful time. I love Bob Hoskins, who was always tasting strange whiskies. He was always getting people to bring. If everybody went to England, he'd say, "Bring back this particular, 1945 bottle of," and we were always tasting whiskies. But we also did a production. We were there for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And I remember, swimming in the sea and, people for the first time hearing somebody saying you better come in because of the shark. I mean, it was a wonderful experience. It's both beautiful and terrifying. And I think probably the experience making the movie was not dissimilar. And Bob Hoskins was delightful. Dennis Hopper was really terrifying. You had no idea what he was going to do next. Sometimes he was, as good as gold. Sometimes he was an absolute, firecracker. We had a very, very interesting time. And of course, we wore these amazing costumes. I wore a metal dress that I had to walk into mud with so that it would sink. And I had to have a snake. And in order to get to know the snake, they asked me, would I sleep with the snake in a bag on my bed? So the snake, began to cough up, the fur balls of rat. I could write a book about Super Mario Bros. So I got to know the snake. So the snake didn't bite me when it went around my arm. Of course, it went around my arm and immediately bit me. It was full of things.
The things we do for art.
Yeah.
Incredible!
Yikes. Man, she sure makes an impression.